Growing up, I always thought of myself as the strong one in the family. I was the older sister, the one who was supposed to set the example, carry the weight of responsibility, and never show weakness. My younger brother, Daniel, was 3 years younger than me, and while I always loved him, I never expected that one day he would become my greatest source of strength. Looking back now, I realize that every step of my life, every stumble and every triumph has been shaped by the quiet, unwavering support of the boy who grew into a man I admire more than anyone. When we were kids, our house was full of noise. Mom worked long hours as a nurse, and Dad owned a small auto shop that kept him busy. Daniel and I were often left to our own devices after school. I took it upon myself to make sure he did his homework, that he ate, and that he didn't get into trouble. I thought I was the caretaker. But even then, there were moments when Daniel surprised me. He had this gentle way of noticing when I was overwhelmed. I remember once when I was 12 and he was 9, I sat at the kitchen table frustrated with math homework, tears in my eyes. He walked over, set a glass of milk beside me, and said, "You don't have to be perfect, you know." For a 9-year-old to say that, it struck me. It was the first time I realized he saw me, not just as his bossy big sister, but as someone who also needed care. High school was tough for me. I was self-conscious, never quite fitting in with the popular groups, and carrying the pressure of trying to be excellent at everything. Daniel, meanwhile, was the kind of kid everyone liked. He played basketball, made friends easily, and had a natural confidence I envied. But despite all that, he never left me behind. At school events, he'd wave at me from across the gym, making me feel noticed when I wanted to disappear. When I went through my first heartbreak, it wasn't my friends I turned to, it was Daniel. I can still see him sitting on the porch steps with me on a summer evening, passing me tissues while I cried. He didn't try to fix it. He didn't tell me I was overreacting. He just listened and said, "If he didn't see how great you are, that's his loss." Those words carried me through more than he'll ever know. As we both grew older, life began throwing bigger challenges my way. College was one of them. I struggled in my first year, financially, academically, and emotionally. I called home often, sometimes crying, sometimes on the edge of giving up. Daniel was still in high school then, but he'd find ways to encourage me. He'd text me jokes when I had late-night study sessions or call me right before my exams to remind me that I was capable. I could almost feel his hand on my shoulder, steadying me through the phone. One time when I came home for winter break, I walked into my room and found a note he had left on my pillow. "You're braver than you think. Don't quit. I believe in you." I still have that note tucked in a drawer because it saved me during moments when I doubted myself. When Daniel graduated high school and went to college himself, I worried that the bond we had might change. But if anything, it grew stronger. We went to different schools, yet we kept in constant touch. During my senior year, I faced the biggest crisis of my life. I failed an important class I needed to graduate. I was devastated. I didn't tell Mom and Dad at first because I didn't want to disappoint them. Instead, I called Daniel. He stayed on the phone with me until 2 in the morning, helping me make a plan, encouraging me not to give up, reminding me that failure wasn't the end. "You've always been the one holding me up," he said. "Now it's my turn." That conversation changed me. I picked myself back up and worked harder than ever. I eventually retook the class and passed. I don't think I could have done it without him. Life after college brought new trials. My first job was demanding, and I often felt alone in a big city, trying to prove myself in a career that sometimes seemed to chew people up and spit them out. Whenever I doubted myself, Daniel was there. He'd drive hours on weekends just to visit me, bringing groceries or cooking dinner in my tiny apartment. He never made me feel like a burden, even when I leaned on him more than I probably should have. He just kept showing up, proving with every gesture that I wasn't alone. Years later, when our father got sick, the roles we thought we knew about ourselves flipped again. I thought I would be the one to handle it, the strong eldest who could hold the family together. But it was Daniel who truly carried us through that time. He was calm when I panicked, hopeful when I broke down, and steady when I felt like I couldn't stand. He coordinated doctor visits, kept track of medications, and still managed to keep Mom's spirits up. I don't think I've ever been prouder of anyone in my life. Watching him take care of Dad reminded me of that 9-year-old boy who handed me a glass of milk at the kitchen table, telling me I didn't need to be perfect. Even now, as adults building our own separate lives, Daniel is my constant. When I got married, he stood by me not just as my brother, but as my best friend. He gave a toast at my wedding that left everyone in tears, talking about how we had been each other's anchor through every storm. Later, when I became a mother, he showed up again, ready to babysit, ready to make me laugh when I felt overwhelmed, ready to remind me that I was strong enough for the new chapter of life. The truth is, Daniel has been more than just a younger brother. He has been my partner in facing life, my cheerleader, my protector, and my reminder that love doesn't always have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes it's the quiet presence of someone who believes in you even when you don't believe in yourself. Now, when I reflect on everything we've gone through, I realize the roles of older sister and younger brother never really mattered. What mattered was that we had each other. He supported me through everything, and in doing so, he taught me the true meaning of family. And for that, I will be forever grateful.